Good too. I welcome this, and I welcome the debate on this, because debate has been unequal, unfair, and indeed targeted at rural dwellers and rural and farmers, because they want to play their part. And there are maybe minor, very minor incidents, and they should be rightly checked up and investigated. But the farmers, really, the causes of pollution are many, and many decades of failures by government policies bears a large portion of the blame. Farmers who have done what the markets and policymakers have asked of them, but are ever more aware of the need to do things differently. They've invested millions, some young farmers, in putting in state-of-the-art, slurry operations, indeed, a good animal husbandry for their animals and everything else. And it's time that we get off the monkey off their back and allow them to do what they're doing, and don't be demonising them. They're aware of the need, and they're increasingly they embrace the non-till farming, cover crops and other methods that help the environment. So they deserve support and not to be blamed. The same with the septic tanks, as he's raised his head again today. It's the water treatment plants. I could name 30 in Tipperary, villages like my own in Newcastle, with no treatment plant. A plant for about 500 people, and a big septic tank. And I asked the EPA more than once when they come to the bridge to take water qualities to go down 200 metres downstream. Raw sewers belching in, and that's happening. And I think the Deputy O'Cribb said earlier that we need tenfold increase in funding to get these plants in. They don't have a treatment plant. They don't have percolation. They just have a big tank, and everything flows out of that as it went into it. So that is disgusting, and that's happening up and down Tipperary in villages and everything else. So, Minister, it's time you stop demonising the young and the old farmers who are good animal husbandry and work with the shovel to make sure drains and runoffs and everything else. So they're playing their part. And everyone needs to play their part here. We have the people in with sink their own wells. They are going to the expense of that. They're getting no supports. They're going to allow their well to be contaminated. No, they're not. So it's time we had fair and reasonable commentary here. It's time that the EPA ponied up here and will test where the councils are falling down and expose it. As I said this morning again, 2 farmers, friends of mine, were out on a boat, pleasure craft here, some lovely Saturday morning about 3 weeks ago. And the belching out in Dublin Bay, the 2 lines of sewers flowing out into the sea, was quite disgusting. And then we come along the whole time and blame the farmers. So the county councils and the government need to act here and not be blaming the rural communities.